everybody, I am Liz and I'm here to do another controversial video for you today. I have already talked about series I won't be finishing, about books I won't be reading, but now I'm here to talk about specific popular authors I am just not in the mood to read. Now I must do a quick disclaimer saying I may change my mind, but I also don't think I will. But if you are dead set on me reading these authors, let me know in the comments down below the reasons why I should read these authors' stories. First up is Rick Riordan. Now, I know, Rick Riordan is beloved here on BookTube with the Percy Jackson series. I personally feel like the Percy Jackson series might be a little too young for me, and I don't think the other spin-off or other series is just quite my cup of tea. I love mythology, but I'm just not sure their stories are for me. I feel like I will read Percy Jackson to my future children if and when I have them, but that's a ways off. The next author I do not think I will be reading her stories is Richelle Mead, the queen of Vampire Academy. I feel like there's a lot of weird tropies, especially with the younger YA vampire stories I'm just not interested in. Plus, I did the wrong thing and watched the movie, and the movie was terrible. I know the movie's not the same, but it did completely turn me away from that storyline. Next up is an author I did read a book for, but I do not plan to read any of his future or already published books I haven't read yet, and that is Ransom Riggs. He is the author of the Peculiar Children series, and I'm just not interested. I read the first one and was horrified by the love interest, the route for that love interest, and everything. It completely turned me away from the magic and the lure of the story. It made me, as much as I wanted to look at the photographs and know the story and know the plot, it wasn't worth it because I was just so disgusted by the romance that I just am completely turned away from any of his other stories. Next up, don't hate me, is Sarah J. Maas. I tried to read A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I finished that. I got all the way to A Court of Wings and Ruin and finished that. I have my own thoughts, perceptions, and feelings about that series, but I'm not continuing off with the spin-off books. I'm not going back and reading Throne of Glass just because her writing style is not for me. Next up is fantasy legend Nora Roberts. I believe she does also a lot of romance. She's just not for me. I don't know why, but I just have no interest in any of the stories she puts out there. Next is Dan Brown, the Illuminati treasure hunter, Da Vinci Code, crazy mystery novelist. I used to really want to, like, dead set want to read his Da Vinci Code series. And then years have passed and I haven't read it, and it has since lost its allure for me. I'm not gonna do it. It's a lot of books, a lot of pages. Next up is renowned romance novelist Nicholas Sparks. I am just not interested. I have watched a lot of his books turned into movies, and they have a lot of problematic content with the male characters, and it just again, it makes me not interested. I am not a solo romance reader anyway, and so it just kind of makes sense that I'm not going to read any of his books. Next up, please don't hate me, is Rainbow Rowell. I know she's super dead set popular and everyone loves her stories here on BookTube, but I am just not interested. I tried reading Fangirl and I thought it was just okay. I didn't feel like the plot was really that inspiring, or the conclusion was very heartfelt. Like, I didn't glean anything. I didn't feel any particularly great feelings for the way it ended. And I wasn't very interested in the fantasy series that's like Harry Potter but different, and it was just not my thing, so I'm not gonna read any of those books. I don't see myself continuing on in any of her works. Next up is Sarah Dessen, another renowned romance novelist, and it's just, like I said, soul romance novels are just not my cup of tea. And so I just don't plan on reading any of her stories. She's another author where I feel like I've heard that a lot of her romance love interests have been very problematic, or that her plot stories are just not quite there. And so again, I'm just not interested. And last but certainly not least, please do not hate Jenny Han, the lovely author of the fantastic Lara Jean books. Again, as you can tell, there is a common element of romance solely books, contemporary YA, or what have you. I really did, don't get me wrong, I really did love the movie To All the Boys I've Loved Before, but I didn't feel the need or the draw to read the books, and I felt like the conclusion was good enough for me. I didn't feel the need to go on in the series to see what happens next. It wasn't this pull and draw that I have had with a lot of movies or TV shows that I have had that's based off of a story to read the book. And so, sorry Jenny Han. And so, here we have the 10 authors I just not interested in reading. As I've stated, this is my opinion, my thoughts and feelings about the works that have already been put out there by these authors. My thoughts, feelings, perceptions may change in the future. You may try to convince me to change my ideas if these stories really have any type of significant meaning or impact in your life. Please let me know down below. I'm very interested to hear your thoughts and feelings. And I'm intrigued to see how you can try to change my mind. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you continue to stick around in my channel, if I haven't turned you away, which I hope I didn't, thank you guys so much for your love and support, and until next time, bye!